Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss out on more content.
Actually, at the end of the second verse, close to the chorus of Peacemaker, there is a line. It says, "Do you remember?" And then the chorus kicks in, "Yes, we can." And all of that brought back all the memories that the name the Scorpions brings to us. The history, both world and personal. The fact that that Love at First Sting was a part of my personal musical journey. The fact that A Wind of Change was a song that the world sang because it was so relevant at that time and remains timeless. If you were to go to the numbers, 100 million records is what the Scorpions have sold, but it doesn't come even close to the kind of adulation that fans like myself have for the Scorpions. And I'm going to get objective interviewer later. Right now, I'm just going to play the mad fan and say thank you so much for the time, Klaus Meine and Rudolf Schenker. This is absolutely fabulous. That it is an honor that we're getting the opportunity to speak to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarthak. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank you very much. Yes.
All the love from India, of course, and of course, there's also the first chorus that says, "If we don't change, we're gonna crash," and the chorus itself says, "Peacemaker, peacemaker, bury the undertaker. If ever there was need for rock to wake us up, shake us by the shoulders, it is now." And it is only proper that the Scorpions come back with Peacemaker as a 2021 anthem that we all need to sing a little more. Let's just start with what we can expect from the album. Cannot wait for February, of course, but what can we expect from Rock Believer?
Well, Peacemaker is just a little appetizer, you know, and we want to share with our fans around the world. And we can for the release of the album in February. And what can you expect? A hard rocking album, I guess, you know, lots of up-tempo rockers. There's a ballad on the album as well, of course. But it's an album with lots of attitude, power, energy, and I think our fans around the world and also in India will hopefully like it as much as we do.
You've been around through so many changes, and you've still been at the top, at the pinnacle of rock success. In these times when everything is shrinking down to the 6-inch screen and the 13-inch screen, the pioneers of arena rock, what do they think about this phenomenon? How are you adapting to this new reality?
I mean, you know, the point is really, it's up to the chemistry. We always believe that a good team can make it. A good team can make good music, can make good decisions, and also have fun and enjoy, especially when you be a rock star and you are up in the air, very high. It's very easy to fall down. So you need some friends around you to really stand next to you in case you may fall. So in this case, we managed since over 50 years to make music, stay together, and enjoy what we're doing. Especially, we enjoy our rock believers, because we are rock believers since we can think about, because as little kids, we believed already in rock when all the people said, "Oh, what do you want to do later? When you're 30, you know, this music will be finished in maybe 3 years." We said, okay, we don't care. We believe in music and we want to make music together. So that's the basic philosophy of the Scorpions, and that's the situation why we are still there.
And I think you've traversed from the analog to the digital. There was this documentary that I was watching in which Steve Albini, the Ace producer, had said that what digital music has done is that it has made music accessible to a lot of people, but it's also made it available for people to be in the music business who have no business being in the music business. So you had started in 1984. It was already the 9th album. Love at First Sting happens to be my youth anthem album. How have you traversed from the analog to the digital?
How was the worst? I mean, there was no worst from the analog to digital. It was
No,
only
no.
what?
I'm saying traversed, as in crossed from the analog to the
How we
digital.
cross
How has
from
that
the analog world into the digital world.
yeah, and how has that changed your way of making music, if it has changed your way of making music?
I mean, back in those days, we were all together playing in the studio, and it was always like playing live. And of course, with the analog, you have this warm sound, and releasing records back in the old days, like vinyl records. You could have the real feeling, you know, with a CD, with switching into the digital world. The CD became a totally different format, which is sound-wise, it's a little colder. But I think Love It First Thing was the first album with Dieter Dirks we recorded in a digital way, right? And it was exciting, you know, all those years from the vinyl record to the CD onto Spotify and Amazons and YouTubes of the world, you know, we always, we just go along, you know, what's coming up. You never stay in the same place. You just go with the flow, you know. And these days, I think Langspielplatten, long players like vinyl records, they become collectors' items, you know, and there are many fans out there, they love the old vinyl records, you know. But then today, selling albums, it's more about how many clicks you have on Spotify, you know. So that defines a success at the end of the day, you know. So you have to go with the times.
It's also that social media has become such a tool to promote your music. I mean, I was talking to another band from Asia who had started in analog times, and they had said something beautiful, which was that when they started in the 70s and the 80s, music was a push medium where you had to push your music out through magazines and TV and radio. And now it's become a pull medium where there's so many ways of consuming music that you have to pull your audiences in. So have you changed the way that you're promoting your music as well in these times to adapt to these?
Of course, right now promoting a new album, it's like just what we're doing right now, you know. So we don't have to come to India all the way to talk to you, you know. We sit in front of this Zoom screen, you know, and today we go to other places around the world, you know, and the minute we speak and the minute you put it out, the whole world can watch it, you know. It's like, it's an amazing thing to connect with the whole world, you know, and to promote a new album. It's an amazing way to use the social medias, but also not only to use the social medias when you want to sell a t-shirt or a CD or an album. It's also to be connected with your fan base, you know, to stay in close contact and be in touch with your fans, you know. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And we have many loyal fans also in India for many years. And hopefully we have a chance to come back. But it's great to be connected this way right now. And yeah, and we can't wait to go back out on the road to present the new album, Rock Believer, and share it with our fans.
And we cannot wait to jump around to the music and the power chords, I tell you, that's important. But in this time of pandemics and lockdowns, you of course are the pioneers of arena rock. The scale of your music has always been large, which is no different from what we've seen in Peacemaker as well. What do you see as the future of arena rock, as the future of listening to music as a community experience, going and jumping along to the music together? What do you see as the future?
I think playing in front of all these fans, and when over the years you become successful artists, you know, there will be always a big crowd. There will be so many followers. In our case, we call them rock believers, you know, and all those rock believers out there are connected. And it's also you're being part of a family, you know, with Hard and Heavy. The Hard and Heavy community joins together on the net you know, and when we go back out on the road, you know, it's a hard and heavy community we're inviting to come to see us. So I think it's the same with rap or hip hop, you know, and there's so many different musical formats out there, many different music styles, and they all have their followers and their family, you know, and we are very proud of our rock community and of our Scorpions fans around the world after all these years. And it's a privilege to play for 3 generations of rock believers.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's also this whole thing, Klaus and Rudolf, of the fact that that in today's day and age, the internet is making superstars out of people without really showing the struggle that goes into the making of a superstar. I would, for all the adoring fans who have just discovered Scorpions music, I would really like them to know of the struggles that the Scorpions went through before they hit the 100 million mark, before they became the phenomena that they were. What were the struggles like?
You know, there was no internet, you know, there were no iPhones. You know, it was like we had just a transporter, like a van, you know, to put the equipment in the back of the van, all those amplifiers, you know, all those Marshall boxes. And we played some places, cities here in Germany, or even in like in Belgium or France or neighbor countries, you know, and on the way back home, we were sleeping in the VW van, you know, on sleeping on top of the Marshall amps, you know. And when we woke up, we had a big Marshall sign on our face, you know. So there was no money really for flashy hotels or anything, you know. And so we had to stay like in the UK in the early days, places for bed and breakfast, and you had to put in a coin in the heater in the winter time because it was so freezing cold, you know. So, and then we needed another new van because one night we crashed with our van because the brakes were not working, you know, and the whole transporter, the whole van was crashed, you know, and luckily we survived. And the faith that we are on the right track, you know, and the passion for rock and roll, the passion for music was so strong. So to overcome those sometimes very difficult and adventurous times in the early years, in the early days, so the belief in ourselves and the passion for music was always strong. And no matter what, you know, we went all the way. And then later on, you become a superstar, and life is changing. But it's also not so easy sometimes because, you know, as the way people become superstars, sometimes the ego is changing as well. You have to take care and stay with your feet on the ground and never forget where you come from.
Of course. There's also, you were talking about this passion, and that's the thing. Even if you were to look at the charts and the global success, it is the bands from the 70s and the 80s that are still ruling the charts and ruling the arenas as well. Between 2010 and 2020, U2, the Rolling Stones, they were the people who were gathering in the money with the arena shows, etc., etc. What do you think it is that makes, is age a factor in rock and roll? And we talk about ageism, the fact that young people are coming in, but it seems that good old rock and roll is completely ageless, is it?
I mean, we were, let's say, not from the start there. Yeah, we were going to start there, but not in the focus of the audience. We had time enough for us to really build ourselves. That's a very important point. To build yourself, to make your own picture, we had to manage ourselves. And in Germany was no management allowed. So in this case, we know where we had to go. And that's the important point with all this kind of things. You know, everybody thinks, you know, when you can sing very good, or you can play guitar very good, you can be a superstar. Yeah, you can, but you have to, either you go with the right team, with the right manager, and be lifting up, and then it could be happen, like Klaus said, that you're losing control because your ego destroys things, or you go and try to make it self-made. In Germany was no management allowed. In this case, we had to do it by ourselves, and we had the chance to wait until we found the right manager. So, and that was Leber Crepes in America. And from this point on, we had a great start in the United States, before, of course, in Japan. So, and then we excited that we said, okay, now we want to go to Russia. We want to show Russia that in Germany, the new generation, it's coming up. They're not coming with tanks and making war. They're coming with guitars and playing love, peace, and rock and roll. And this was the situation where we played in '88 in Leningrad. And 1 year later, Music Peace Festival, in Moscow. 2 nights, 110,000 people, and even the army was involved in being rockers and throwing their hats on the stage because they are so excited. So this was important. And then we played everywhere. We played in over 88 countries around the world. More even than Metallica. Metallica, they always get asked where you played. So they said, no, we never played as much as the Scorpions because we always were waiting where they're going to make sure everything is safe. We were really like very strong, as like a gang. We said, we go there and we will make it and we will find out. Luck will be on our side. And that was the fantastic situation. And this was the situation which builds you, your personality, everything. The youth people, they're going, maybe they get a good make in pop idols or something happening. Then maybe they're coming up a little bit, and then already there maybe say, oh no, it's too much work for me. Or the other one said, no, I thought it's different. No, we know exactly what's rock it's all about and how you come there and how you have to stay. And that's the situation compared to young kids, which I have no idea. We came out of the dirt.
Sarthak's question was, is rock and roll ageless? As I remember, like a long time ago when this question came up. And I think, rock and roll music is ageless in a way. But on the other side, it's not, because as we're growing older, but every time we're up on stage, like I said, we play in front of 3 generations. The ones who are growing older with us, they're sitting in the arena more in the back because it's being too close to the stage is way too loud for them. But the young generation, they're in front of the stage going crazy, singing along, Rock You Like a Hurricane, Blackout, all those big classic songs, and so, as we're growing older, but we're all together, and that's a wonderful thing that we can reach the young generation with our music as well. So, and to be honest, going out on stage, and it's like, the person you are when you wake up in the morning is different from the person that goes up on stage, and when you confronted with this audience and you receive, you give and you take so much energy, and age is not a point at all, age is just a number.
Absolutely. And for decades and decades, people have said rock is dead, but it seems to be alive and kicking. If you were to listen to Peacemaker, what's your message to all of those people who say rock is dead?
Rock is well and alive, that's the way we feel it. And there's always a new generation coming up, and they love rock music, they love classic rock, and we think we are rock believers because when we talk about all those years and decades, as long as the Scorpions are out there, we are rock believers by heart, and it's like a family, and we can't wait to play for our Indian fans again, like we did. It's a while ago, like in Mumbai or in Bangalore or up north in Shillong. You know, we have
Yes.
many great memories on India, and we hope we have a chance to come back to share our new album with our fans in India.
I'm being told that it's time to wrap, but can I just put in one more question for Rudolph as a rabid fan? Rudolph, from the time of Love Drive, when there were 3 guitars and there was Michael, I've been a fan of the Schenker brothers ever since I can remember. The Michael Schenker group, UFO, and of course the power chords of Scorpions. People are saying that there's no more guitar solos anymore. The guitar solo is as dead as rock. But you have really crunched it out on Peacemaker. What do you have to say to people who say that the guitar solo is no longer relevant?
I mean, things coming and going. Everything goes in circle. When grunge came, everybody was worried. I said, look, guys, we don't have to be worried. Let's wait. Everything goes in circle. And really, the circle came back. When we came up with Unbreakable again, we were there again. And we built up again our House of Rock. So what can I tell them? Believe in what you feel. That's important. Don't look outside and think, this music which I like now is not working. No, play. Create your own style. Create your own style. That's the important point. Make something with the guitar nobody did before. That's the example. And then people will say, hey, have you seen this? Then write a hit. And then you go up like crazy and be number 1. And then you have to be careful that you're not falling down.
Absolutely. It's all about fist pumping, teeth clenching belief, is it not?
Exactly. That's the reason why we are rock believers.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And thank you very much for your time. It's been absolutely wonderful.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss out on more content.